Welcome back to the channel. My name is Thomas Fletcher and I'm the host of the LCSW Network and the Military Social Work Network. If you're new to both of my channels, please do me a favor by smashing that like button, by subscribing to the channels, and by sharing this video with your social work colleagues and friends. The purpose of both of these channels is to create a community of hope and support where social workers can come for relevant news, information, and inspiration. Well, welcome back to Ask a Military Social Worker. Belated Happy New Year to all my viewers. It's been several weeks since I published a new video, but I'm back at it. I got a new question. I got actually a series of questions that I will be going over today. So let's jump into it. So recently I received these questions from a viewer who states, in your previous video, I think you may have mentioned that SWIP, or social work internship program, could possibly be completed at a VA medical center for those in the Guard or Reserve. Would this be someone attempting to enter the Guard or Reserve as a social worker who does not possess the advanced licensure yet, but is working towards hours and is employed by the VA in a new social work role? Or could this possibly be for a civilian applicant not in the VA system or military yet? Is there a way to get accepted for SWIP for National Guard or Reserve? Or is this only an active duty program? I am a civilian in law enforcement who would like to serve in the military as a social worker and will be completing an internship at a VA this summer. Thank you. All right, well, I thank you for this series of questions. This came from anonymous question. That's the person's name on YouTube. So I have made a couple of videos in the past about SWIP, but I do want to address this person's questions specifically. So just to go over what the SWIP program is very briefly, the Army's SWIP, or social work internship program, is a postgraduate program and originally designed for social workers who are willing to serve on an active duty basis. Okay, so that was originally what it was intended for. It has been expanded because I did speak to the director of the SWIP program earlier back in the spring of 2023. And she did tell me that they have expanded the program to not only serve active duty service members, but now they are accepting service members that are currently serving in the National Guard. And the way it works is you still have to go through the application process for SWIP, but then once you have been accepted, you will be your hours for completing the SWIP will be done not at a military treatment facility, not at a DoD military treatment facility, but it will be completed. Your 26 months in the SWIP program will be completed at a VA medical center if you're in the National Guard. But let me go over some general information about SWIP, starting with eligibility requirements. So the first eligibility requirement to apply for the social work internship program is you must be a graduate of an MSW program that was accredited by the Council on Social Work Education. And I've talked about CSWE in several videos on the LCSW network about how important it is, whether you are wanting to become a social worker at the civilian level in the Department of Veterans Affairs, or in the Department of Defense as a civilian, or you're looking to become a uniformed military social worker. Wherever you want to work as a social worker in the DoD or in the Department of Veterans Affairs, you must graduate from a school that was accredited by the Council on Social Work Education. Very important, very important. The second criteria for being eligible for the SWIP program is you must graduate with a GPA of 3.0 or higher. 3.0 or higher. Third eligibility requirement is you must pass the Association of Social Work Board master level exam and subsequently hold a license from a state as a master's level provider. In other words, before you even sign up for SWIP, you must take the master's level exam of the ASWB, pass it, and then get your LMSW or whatever the equivalent is in your state at the master's level, okay? The next eligibility requirement for SWIP is if you are enlisted, you must be an E6 or below. And if you are an officer in the grade of captain, you must complete the AMED Captain's Career Course prior to attending SWIP. Okay, so these are the eligibility requirements for SWIP. I did want to state earlier, I didn't state it earlier, but I'll state it now. So SWIP is open to all types of candidates, all type of applicants, including civilians, officers, and enlisted personnel that are, again, requesting to become active duty Medical Service Corps Army officers. As I stated earlier, SWIP has been expanded for officers and enlisted personnel serving in the National Guard, okay? If you are not, so normally, let me go over another aspect of SWIP. So, normally individuals who have successfully completed the Army's MSW program are selected for SWIP. So that's where they get the majority of their candidates. And the Army's MSW program is held at the University of Kentucky. I made another video talking about the MSW program, so I'll leave a link. I'll leave a link for that video. But so again, the majority of candidates for SWIP are selected from those who successfully complete the Army's MSW program. But if you didn't go through the Army's MSW program and you still need to get your hours for an advanced practice licensure, you may still apply for SWIP through an AMED recruiter. So that's very important. If you didn't go through the Army's MSW program and you haven't gotten your advanced practice license yet and you want to get it through the Army, you can apply for it through an AMED recruiter. And this is where if you're a National Guard service member or you're looking to join the National Guard, this is how you would do it. You would, again, talk to an AMED recruiter, okay? And last point about selection to the program, a central board meets once a year to select applicants for the program. I'm not quite sure when they meet. It might be January, but don't hold me to that, okay? Guess I should have stated at the beginning of the video, but just a friendly disclaimer, I am not a military recruiter. I am not employed by the Army SWIP program. I am a social worker who's employed full-time at the Department of Veterans Affairs, soon to be 20 years in the VA. I also have experience serving as a reserve component uniform military social worker, currently with the Army Reserve, but I previously served for over 11 years in the California Army National Guard. So those are my credentials. Again, the purpose of this video is for information purposes only. And I am not receiving any compensation, endorsement, or promotion by the Department of Defense, by the U.S. Army, by the Army Medical Department, or by any military or government officials. Views, opinions stated in this video are mine alone. Anyway, so let's talk about what type of experiences can you expect if you are selected for the Army Social Work Internship Program. So there are 4 required rotations: social work leadership and management, behavioral health, which includes rotating with a behavioral health officer, rotating with embedded behavioral health, and rotation in a behavioral health clinic. The third required rotation is family advocacy program. And then the fourth required rotation is addiction medicine. There are elective rotations that you can also get experience in during your 26 months. And those elective rotations are inpatient behavioral health, soldier recovery unit, intense outpatient program, child and family adolescent behavioral health service, and special operations behavioral health clinics. All right. Um, so I hope, anonymous question, that I have answered all of your questions. Let me just go over them again. So it looks like your first question was, would this be someone attempting to enter the Guard or Reserve as a social worker? So again, if you are interested in applying for SWIP and you are not currently serving in the National Guard, you can apply. Again, you can talk to an AMED recruiter and let them know that you would like to serve in the National Guard. And the first thing that you'd like to do in the National Guard is you would like to apply for the social work internship program. Okay. So again, the way that would work is you apply. If you get accepted, um, this program, which is administered um, by the Army Medical Department, they will connect you with a VA medical center for you to complete your 26 months of clinical supervision. In that situation, you would be assigned a clinical supervisor at a VA medical center. Social worker like myself, I currently provide clinical supervision for 2 post MSW graduates at the VA medical center where I work at. Not every VA medical center currently has um, interns that are in the SWIP program. And you know what? I do want to comment, because the way that this is not a knock against the Army, but it's confusing. And I'll share why I say it's confusing. So I currently supervise postgraduate MSWs that are working on getting their 2 years of hours so that they can take the advanced practice license. I work in California, so my 2 clinical supervisees at the end of their 2 years, they will have the hours, they will have the 3,000 or the 3,200 hours needed to take the LCSW license exam for California. I also supervise pre-MSW graduates, and we call them interns. We call them interns. The MSW interns that haven't graduated yet, that I supervise at my VA in Los Angeles, we call them interns. And the 2 MSW graduates that have already graduated, they have their MSWs, but they need the 2 years of hours to take the LCSW exam. We call them clinical supervisees. We don't call them interns. Yet, what the SWIP, what the Army Social Work Internship Program is, it's an internship for people that have already graduated. So the language is a little bit confusing, right? I would suggest to the Army that they call it either a postgraduate social work internship program or a social work fellowship program, because again, the wording is, it's a little bit confusing. It's a little bit confusing, even for people like myself that have been in the field for almost 30 years, and now I'm supervising different level of social workers. Again, I'm supervising pre-MSW graduates, and I'm also supervising post-MSW graduates. So again, SWIP is for individuals that have already graduated. They've already gotten their MSW, and they've also they've also taken again the master level exam through ASWB. So they have an LMSW. Okay, that's very important. You cannot apply for the SWIP program if you have not taken the ASWB's master level exam. Very important. All right, so I hope I answered your questions satisfactorily. Anonymous question. I think I have. I think I have. Is there a way to get accepted for SWIP for National Guard or Reserve? Again, if you are currently serving in the National Guard and you have completed an MSW program, reach out, and you're probably going to be in a different MOS, right? Reach out to an AMED recruiter in your area and let them know that you are interested in applying for the Army's social work internship program, you know, and that you would be getting this experience at a local VA medical center. All right. Um, so again, to summarize, I know this video is just a little bit longer than what I normally do, but I just wanted to make sure, since this person provided layers of questions. So again, just to summarize, SWIP is open to civilians, officers, and enlisted personnel, primarily requesting to become active duty Medical Service Corps officers, but they have also expanded for service members currently serving in the National Guard, or civilians that are looking to join the National Guard, who have already gotten their MSW, who have already taken an exam for master's level social work, which would be an LMSW in most states. A long time ago, almost 30 years ago, I took the master level exam through ASWB, and at the time I was living and working in New York. So when I moved to California and applied for the VA, I already had the LMSW that I was able to work uh, work under while I was a GS11, getting clinical experience and hours to take the California license exam. And once I got the California license exam, I was able to work under my LCSW, which I currently work under in the state of California. And it was the LCSW that allowed me to commission for the Army. I wasn't able to commission with the California Army National Guard as a social worker until I got the LCSW. Okay, but the only time and place where you can use your LMSW as an MSW is applying for SWIP. Applying for SWIP. That's the only time where your LMSW has any value in terms of you being a social worker applying for a position in the Army. Okay. I kind of wish I had known about SWIP 15, 20 years ago, but I was still able to get my clinical hours through the VA. And I've stated this in another video, that if you are not eligible for SWIP for whatever reasons, whatever reasons, come on over to the VA. Get your clinical hours to the VA, and then you could later on join the National Guard as an LCSW. That's what I ended up doing. Got my LCSW in 2007, and a few years later, 2011, I was able to direct commission into the California Army National Guard. All right. So again, I hope I answered your questions, anonymous question. And I want to thank you all for watching this video. To all the social workers and other licensed mental health professionals, thank you for the work that you do for your clients, for your agencies, and for the profession. Please continue to support each other and yourselves. Bye for now.